welcome to the Keelhauled podcast. I'm your host, CaptainLogun, and we've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news to cover today, so tie yourselves to the mast and hold fast. Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you had yourselves a good week and a good weekend. I know I did. This week, we have the Gold Hoarders joining us for the August episode. We're going to be diving into the latest patch notes to get some opinions on the changes to the Burning Blade, as well as the Blunderbuss meta change that has just come in. I thought it was going to be season 14. Turns out it's now. Lots of people have some strong opinions about it, and we're going to dive into some of those. So let's get into it. But before I get into any of that, I have to thank the patrons. They're the ones that are supporting this content so that you guys can enjoy it without any ads or any of those issues. They take care of the bills when it comes to the Adobe fees, when it comes to Podbeam, all the things that I use on a regular basis, or when I need to upgrade equipment. That is all taken care of by the patrons, including the trips to and from Fest of Legends and Sea of Thieves. So I want to thank them as always, and especially the ones that are joining us this week for this week's episode. So thank you to Adorable, Toasties, L Cute, A Potted Plant, Balls, Blue Turtle V1, Captain Chonky, Captain Longsharts, Chateau Noof, Super Pack, Zombie Killer, Cloud, Cosmic Johnson, Static Mirror, Davram TV, El Jefe Esteban, Fergatron, Godhammer 6, Jorby Jorbs, J Hood, Carl Embo, Kylea the Aficionado, Cryptic Slayer, Lumpy SRQ, Evil Morpheus, Space Admiral Ors, Xbox Mike 29, Murphy Lives, Mutinous Max, Norwegian, Regis Stella the Brony Pirate, Ribloid, Rustbell Kid, Skamelt 666, Captain Dasm, Tommy D, TN Professor, Big Bad Pad, Mina Fairy, Captain J Rad of the Flaming Cold Sore, The Lore Chronologist Deadeye Dre, Hager Owl, Jeff H, Captain Duckweed, Evil Martha, Peter Miller, Rooski Doo, Thor Von Blitz, Luke Lore, The Insipid Ghost, and Zam Wow. Thank you all so much for your support. It really does help out, and I greatly appreciate it. So hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. And with that, let's get into it.
I need to pull up the patch notes too.
I have it right here, Russ.
I know, but I'm
okay. Well,
I'm blind.
You're blind, so let me go ahead and toss this link in the chat so that way
I got it.
You know what?
I appreciate it, but I just wanted to blow it up on my other screen.
Well, if anyone else,
if Jen would have let me bought the new screen from Costco today, then I would have a 48-inch curved monitor right now.
Well, then I need to have a conversation with Jen.
Exactly.
Clearly, she's making sure that you're not making impulsive, rash decisions. I need to congratulate her on that.
I told her she couldn't buy all the Christmas stuff at Home Goods today.
It's not even September.
I need to have
a is there Halloween out there yet?
Got it. No, because the Halloween and fall stuff is already coming down slowly as we get closer to it. So their Christmas stuff's coming up, and if you don't buy it now, you won't get it because it'll be gone before December even happens. Like,
it's our whole August.
Whole house is Halloween inside already.
You gotta get the stuff early. It's like, you don't buy Christmas presents all in November. You gotta get the stuff early so you can have it ready.
I've been drinking cold pumpkin spice cold brew for like 2 weeks already.
Oh my god! I'm waiting for eggnog.
God.
That's
eggnog. That's what I'm going to be smuggling back from Ohio when I go back up in December. Is this local dairy makes their own eggnog?
Oh, is it
it's like a spiced eggnog.
Is it? Oh dang it! I was talking to A.
It's not. You wouldn't.
I was talking to A. Chick.
Yep. Yes. It's Hartzler's.
Okay. I don't think that's.
If you ask her, Hartzler's. They have like a shop with sandwiches and ice cream and stuff like that too, like near the farm.
Yeah.
But all of their milk is all glass containers. They're not actually gallon containers. I forget how big they are. But their chocolate milk is probably the best chocolate milk I've ever had in my life. And I will only buy the whole milk. And what I'll do is if I buy the whole milk, I take the rubber seal off the top. I take the cap off. I'll let air get to it for a couple minutes. And then I'll close it, put it back in the fridge. So next time you go to open it, the top will be really hard. You break that, you shake it up, and it makes the milk even creamier. And they have their eggnog is like it's I don't want to say, when I say spiced, it's not like ooh spicy, it's just a spiced eggnog. And it's like you have a glass and you're like, oh, that was so good, but then you're like, okay, my stomach hurts, I can't do this anymore. Like you just like, if you have a dairy problem but you love dairy, don't drink it.
Yeah,
that's the real bane of it.
Yeah.
All right.
We are so far off the rails.
We really are.
You think?
I'm kicking up this event. We're going to get things started here. So welcome everyone to the August 2024 Gold Hoarder episode. I'm your host, Captain Logun. As always, we are joined by the Gold Hoarders to celebrate Sea of Thieves in all the positive ways that you can imagine, and definitely don't have any hot takes or opinions that would then conflict with any of the happenings that are going on with the game, because we all love it and there's nothing wrong with anything. So as we kind of work through our list of gold hoarders this week to announce who they are and welcome them to the episode, just bear in mind, everyone is free to express their opinion, as right or wrong as it may be, because we should all validate those opinions, feelings, and make sure that everyone knows that regardless of what you say or do on this podcast, I will still be your friend afterwards. Unless you say something that I don't like, at which point I will definitely hold those in reserve and never speak of them until it slowly erodes at my soul and I can't handle it anymore and we have a breakdown and I have to discuss it with you privately, at which point we will then cry, get past it, and then move forward with a healthy relationship. Godhammer is the first on our list. Godhammer, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Are you okay?
I'm fantastic. I got a really big cup of coffee, as I'm sure none of you could tell. And I've just been sipping on that all morning.
Very good. Okay.
As always, Regis, how you doing, buddy?
We're doing good. Finally got my PC fixed and my knee is doing better. And for those who don't know, I twisted my knee about a month ago, which, geez, it was very painful and very scary on my part.
I bet.
Still hasn't fully recovered, but but luckily I got my PC fixed. Only power thing was not working properly, and luckily I got it under warranty, so that means I don't have to pay for a damn thing about it.
That's awesome. That's what they're there for.
Yep, indeed.
Next up, we've got Rusty, Rustbelt Kid. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. I am actually currently waiting for Jen to bring me a iced pumpkin spice cold coffee. Just want to say that. Other than that, I'm doing great.
Nice. I'm looking forward to the recourse on that later in the episode, where you have to take a break to run to the bathroom. And last but not least, Tommy D, legendary hunter. How are you doing?
I am doing great. It's a beautiful sunny day where I'm at. School's back in session, so kids, make sure you don't make messes in those classrooms. Appreciate your janitors. That's all I gotta say.
That's true. Two of my friends are actually janitors, and I knew someone else who was a janitor for schools. And the amount of time teachers would just leave papers laying around, just randomly, because they knew the janitors or custodians had to go pick it up.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Yeah. Fun fact, custodians are pretty much the reason why most of the kids are staying back in school these days, because they're the ones that have to go wipe down all of the touchable surfaces to make sure that kids don't get sick.
100%.
So I wanted to take a moment, and I kind of called it out a little bit because I know, Tommy, you're not the only legendary hunter with us today, but I did want to apologize because I know that last week's episode, a little departure from the norm, and fishing with Caleb, while it was fun and had a good time, may have been a bit misleading. So I'm sorry if what the title said was an indication that we'd be talking about Hunter's Call stuff. I'm looking forward to doing that when we get a little bit of a refresh on there, but I just wanted to apologize because I didn't mean to mislead anyone or get anyone's hopes up on that, and I'm sorry. So if that was the takeaway, I will try to do better with the titles to make them a little more or readable or understandable, or not misleading in any way. So apologies there. But I wanted to get a gauge, toss it out. We're going to be going over the patch notes. The latest patch that came out this week kind of addressed some things that have really kind of frustrated a few folks out in the community. We're first patch into season 13. It's been really interesting to kind of see like what they've done and address some of the concerns, things that we've talked about in the past couple episodes regarding some of the changes that they were planning on doing, things that I thought they were going to be doing in season 14. Honestly, the fact that they're doing the changes to the Blunderbuss in particular in season 13 seems like a bit of a misstep, but maybe that's because they need to get this out and tested to better gauge on how well it's working. But I wanted to toss it out to anyone just to kind of pick up on the conversation around season 13, since this is the first episode into season 13 that I think we've really had a chance to get a gauge on how this season's going. I do want to hear from you all, and feel free to open up if you want to jump in. How is season 13 doing for you? How do you feel about the Burning Blade this late into the beginning of it? Have you gotten all the things knocked out as far as your commendations? What do you think of the season so far?
I like how we got the Golden Glory. That was a nice little bump there. I like how they turned off the roar completely, and we were able to go explore it, do our merchant stuff, and get those little Tabasco bottles, the red message in the bottles that look like Tabascos. So I got a lot of stuff done. And I remember to sell my doubloons for double with Liata, with our friend at the bar. So you got double money for the doubloons that you turned into. So remembered about that.
Nice.
But yeah, overall 13 has been good for me. The Burning Blade, I just avoid it.
Really? Okay. Any particular reason?
I'm usually playing with people that are a little bit timid to go and fight. So that kind of hampers a few things. So I want to do it, but I know they don't want to do it, and they don't want to do it. And sometimes I'm just playing solo, so I'm not going to go up against that thing by myself.
Interesting.
I'm a little chicken.
Rusty, what do you got going on?
So far, the season's gone okay. We haven't played as much. Prof being gone. Hefe's busy season.
On mission.
Plus, on mission. Prof's been gone on mission.
Yeah.
But he's only been back maybe about a week. And Hefe, it's his busy season with the job. So between that and little baby Jack, we haven't had as much time as a crew to play. I've been able to play a little bit here and there, either by myself or with some other folks. But Golden Glory was good. I didn't get as much time to dive pretty much for Hourglass as much as I wanted to, even though we did. I don't want to say it didn't seem as sweaty. I don't want to say that because other people have different experiences. Ours didn't seem as sweaty. It was a little bit easier to kind of pick up some rep a little bit, but we had fun while we were doing it. Unfortunately, just didn't have the time with some other medical stuff going on to play, so I kind of missed out on a whole day of it. But outside of that, I did agree with Tommy. The roar, I've always liked the roar. The volcanoes going off like they always do never really bothered me. But it was nice for them to like, hey, we're gonna calm this back, and we can go off those little bottles and do that little event. That was fun. Had a couple crashing issues. I kept trying to look and see if maybe it was PC related. Not too sure. I don't think it was just my PC, because I know I believe Hefe had a couple issues where he'd been crashing over the last couple weeks here and there a little bit. But outside of that, it's been pretty good. We did run the Burning Blade. The Black Rose tried to server hop quite a few times the other night, and I don't want to say it was a waste of a night. It really wasn't. It was just, every time we find something, it wasn't there. We did finally find one. We kind of tried to play the long sneak game because we thought they were going to go to one of the other locations. They did not. And we kept saying, hey, man, this is taking them way too long to do these little events. Mm-hmm. And we realized why. Because by the time we caught up to them, they were on the south end of Wanderers, and they played it smart. Whoever, the person that was sailing the boat played it smart. They were able to get around us a little bit and run straight for Reapers, and we realized it was a one-man Burning Blade. So they were able to get to Reapers real quick, and obviously turn in, which obviously that's, with it being one player, no matter even with the changes that we're going to talk about, they could have still, actually they couldn't have, because we would have been in battle with them, but they were able to turn in and it went away. But we did end the night though on a good note. It was we were going after a burning blade. We got on the burning blade and started killing some skellies, because that was our game plan. Let's kill some skellies first. And the burning blade was like, hey, that sloop that's right there, that's a Reaper's 5, has been triple. They've been stacking 4 to the dams for quite a while. And we were like, screw it, let's go after them. We went after them. We realized that their boat was named something very egregious and racist. So I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, we're definitely going after them now. And then, they got a little salty. They wished death on all of us in some very egregious ways. And they were very curious why we were going after them and not the Burning Blade. And I don't think they liked when I said, well, the name of your ship is, seems like a really nice reason to come after you. They didn't respond. So, we sank them. We got what was it? I think we had both types of Reaper chests. We had a stack of 4 each, and the rest of their loot. So it ended on a pretty good note. So all in all, so far so good, other than the crashing issues.
Nice. That's interesting that you came across one that was a solo. When Tommy, good opportunity. You never know.
It definitely seems, at least from my perspective, and I can't, Tommy has to do what he feels he wants to do, but yeah. It definitely seems that it's calm. I don't want to say calm down, but it seems like it's a little bit more not as the whole server's not going after it. At least the times that we have ran or I've ran across it, it doesn't seem like the whole server's going after the Burning Blade. And it seems like when you do get a ship going after you, it's kind of the same ship over and over again. But everybody has different experiences, so that might not be the case for other people.
I might go out for it now that it's died down. I mean, I'm a fisherman by trade, so I'm usually very cautious.
Godhammer, I saw you you open up there. What are your thoughts?
So this past week, we went after the Burning Blade, and the whole server also went after it. They were on an 9 streak by the time that we caught up to them, and it was me and the Grog on a galleon, Roadrunner, Neo, and Burn. Gotta shout out my boys. And we took down about 5 other ships in the process of taking down the Burning Blade, and it was a tooth and nail fight to bring that thing down, sort of like the hunters of old taking down the mammoth, piece by piece. The fight started just south of Sanctuary, moved to just northeast of Wanderers, where we had to stop them from turning in real fast because it hadn't changed yet that they had to kill everybody before turning in. And then it moved over to the skeleton camp when they realized that they weren't going to be able to stop us, and they needed their skeleton reinforcements back. So we took the Burning Blade down with a 9 streak on the blade.
Oh, wow.
And then we had to fight off 2 boats on the way to sell it up, and it was glorious. It was one of those hard-fought victories where everybody's cheering and hollering, and it was good. It was classic Sea of Thieves magic in that big fight. Oh, it was glorious.
That's awesome. I love that. Those are the kind of things that I really do like to see or hear about when I'm watching streamers or when people are going. I think the last time I got to do a Burning Blade, we did an 8 streak on it, and we had one sloop crew. And the sloop crew was pretty good. They were able to hold their own and stuff. But when you're a sloop crew going up against a brig and the brig has got the Burning Blade, it's just a lot harder to try and deal with it, especially if that Burning Blade is able to get to that next ritual and complete that next ritual. Now, granted, they did try to stop the ritual that we were heading to at one point. But if you can get a ritual done and you can get those skeletons respawned, it's really tough to try and get the skeletons whittled down on the Burning Blade to be able to get some holes into the Burning Blade without someone repairing it almost instantly. So I'll be interested to see how this kind of continues to pan out. Now, Regis, we haven't heard from you. Have you had any time spent on the seas where you've tried to encounter the Burning Blade or messed around with the rituals at all?
Not recently, but I do remember like a few weeks ago that I was not on my computer, but on like a internet cafe, kind of like a thing called Ultimate Gaming here in Launceston, where I was playing by myself originally, then trying to do like one of those ritual things by diving and naturally trying to avoid the Burning Blade because I don't like PvP in the slightest. But then Godhammer came on my ship, and he convinced me to, like, take the Burning Blade, and we did. But unfortunately, I was on a time limit, so I managed to complete the ritual, but I had to get off. And I have to say the Burning Blade is pretty massive. Like, the only thing I can imagine the Burning Blade being matched is like a Grand Maritime Union warship, if you will, whenever the hell those guys come around to the Sea of Thieves. But yeah, I enjoy the rituals, the Burning Blade, and stuff like that. Just I wonder how this is going to impact the future of the game. Like, we're going to see retaliation from Athena's Fortune whenever the hell that comes around.
Yeah, it's interesting to think, like, lore-wise, if there's going to be anything that actually kind of pushes the Athena Fortune or the Athena's, like, the Pirate Lord himself to kind of work on any of this. So definitely interested to see kind of where things go in that sense. But with the Burning Blade kind of being out there in the open, I feel like this is definitely one of the more interesting world events that we've gotten. I think that a lot of folks have really enjoyed it. I am curious what you all think, and if anyone had any thoughts about this, because Caleb brought up a really good point that I hadn't really considered in the last episode, which was the ancient skeletons being down in the actual skeleton camps for the ritual. Has anyone gotten a chance to take a look at that or noticed it? And if so, any theories on why the ancient skeletons are on the ritual table?
I unfortunately have not been down there, so I do not know.
Sacrilege. Well, you need to go down there. What are you doing right now?
Maybe they're like remnants of ancients that were, barred from going to the paradise that was the ancients' paradise in the Sea of the Damned, or the Sea of Tribute, whatever they call it. Just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Falco has a better explanation to this than I can offer.
Okay, I was just curious. Not sure everyone has had a chance, so I'd be interested to hear if anyone has any theories as they kind of work through this. But since we're doing the episode and we want to jump into the actual patch notes here, I figured I'd pull these up and kind of work through them with you all. And if you guys have some thoughts or some feelings on them, I'd definitely like to jump in there. So right off the bat, the return of the Burning Blade in battle, or returning the Burning Blade in battle. Here we've got crews in command of the Burning Blade are now prevented from returning the ship to the Reaper's hideout while still in combat. Rival ships in close proximity to the Burning Blade will prevent it from being returned. A majority vote from the crew will now be required when pledging to become the crew of the Burning of the Dam or Burning Blade, or when returning the ship to the Reaper's hideout. And any crew votes to return the Burning Blade to the Reaper's hideout will now be cleared if the ship sails away from the island, and the vote will need to be retaken upon returning to the vicinity. So right off the bat, personally, I think these are very good balance changes. I think they're really good to try and ensure that crews can't just opt out of the actual fight, that they will actually have to fight to get their Burning Blade turned in and prevent people from kind of sailing by and shooting people off to go to the actual hideout to, like, lower the vote, and then just do that slowly one by one until they get the majority of vote in there. But any thoughts or feelings on these changes, positive or negative?
Excellent change. As somebody who had to chase somebody for over an hour, who was very capable of actually fighting back. Like, when they fought us, they were actually good. I'm not going to tell them that because they were runners for like an hour. And it's just, Flameheart demands you fight. That's what he wants. Prove your worth. And these people weren't proven their worth. They did not deserve to be in control of that boat, and they should not have been able to turn it back in the way they did. So good choice. Good choice indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had much situations where they didn't fight or they're just running. Other than that one where they just, obviously he was blatantly run to try to turn in, find out that he's by himself. Like I said, given that situation, being by yourself, obviously he would have been able to turn in anyways, unless because we still were a ways away. So I don't know, where that's going to affect, like how far do you have to be away for it to consider you, in the vicinity. We already know that, you have to be forever away to dive half the time, even though you can barely see the ship in the horizon, and yet somehow it still won't let you dive. But I still think it's a good choice. I think it puts kind of, in Godhammer's credit in this situation, it forces people to have to like, hey, you need to sink me before you turn this in, or you need to get rid of us before you turn this in. So
Yeah.
I don't think bad choice. I'm sure some people are complaining about it. I haven't really paid much attention to the complaints on the old interwebs, but I think it's a good choice in the end.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm pretty much of the same mindset. It's something that should be cycled out with the world events. The best way to do that is to ensure that players are actually getting a reward for it. And if you're going to get a reward for it, that you have put some effort into it, or no one is contesting it. Hopefully people are actually just getting a chance to actually have a good fight with it and actually enjoy it, as opposed to just going completely uncontested, which is kind of the worry. I know I was sailing around working on gold vaults to try and get those commendations knocked out. At one point, there were 3 Reapers on the map table and a completely open burning blade. And then there were no Reapers and still a burning blade. So I think people might either be focused on other stuff. I mean, granted, I was, so, guilt where it needs to be laid, but maybe the world event, everyone, once they got their chest of fortunes, that was kind of it. They just kind of went back to other stuff that they were working on, which is always kind of, it's fine, but it always is kind of concerning when here we are, what is it, a month into the first season, and people are starting to drop off from the Burning Blade. It's not nearly as long of an event as people were expecting. Maybe feel free to jump in.
I would say that it's like any other world event at this point. It's people know that when you are tackling it, it's going to take a while, and if you have a sort of idea how your session's going to go, if you're going to do like Order of Souls stuff, you're just not going to touch it because it's not giving you Order of Souls stuff. And like it's an event that can take a while. So if you don't have like an hour and a half to dedicate to getting the Burning Blade up to like where you want it to be to turn it in, that's you gotta pick and choose your moment there, because you gotta go like halfway around the map to get like 4 rituals done, and then you have to sail back to Reapers to do that. Never mind any interruptions that happen halfway through. So it's an event that takes a while, and if you're planning on doing other stuff, then yeah, it makes sense that you're gonna be ignoring it for other things.
Yeah, I think that the situation, I don't believe at this point, and maybe we're wrong, maybe somebody will prove us differently, but I don't think Rare is going to be able to put anything into this game at this point that people are going to continually, everybody's going to continue to do an event in the long term. I mean, there's always people doing stuff. I mean, I saw somebody the other day, obviously it's not PvP related or anything like that, but even doing the glitter beard, I saw somebody post something yesterday about it. People are always going to be doing some of the events and some of the stuff put in the game. I don't think that's ever going to go away. I'm sure there's, statistics out there that show that even if it's, 0.001% of the population did event A in the last 8 months, somebody's still doing something. I just don't think they're going to put something in there that is going to withstand the time. I think this is the game, and this is the game that we've learned to love. And we know when, especially a PvP related event like this that they put in the game, that hey, the first couple weeks, maybe even the first month, it might be hot and heavy. Like Godhammer said, his whole server was going after it the other night. We have to take into consideration when the heck you're getting online. Because, if you're doing an event and it's, it's at night during the work week, or, or heck, even at night on the weekend more than anything, you're probably going to have a sweatier time with certain things. And you just have to know that, if you want to be able to do an event and, not withstand a little bit of toxicity and some sweatiness sometimes, like, heck, you might have to do it on a Tuesday night for a couple hours and hope you can get what you can get done, and you do it when you do it. I just don't see that changing. The event's there. People are still having fun with it. It's still sweaty at times, like Godhammer said. And then you're going to have times where, it's just not like that. It'd be nice if the event was more active than it really is. But like you said, 3 Reapers, and the next thing you know, they're all gone and the Burning Blade's still up. I don't think anybody probably in the gaming industry should probably fix that. I think that just is what it is, and that's what the game is.
I don't disagree with that, to be honest. I think that there's a fair point to pay, and that I think a lot of it does kind of depend on where or when you're actually logging on. It always makes me wonder if they were able to have a way to opt into burning blades that weren't necessarily tied to the commendations, or if there was, even as I'm thinking about this, there's got to be a reason for people to want to engage with it. This is a clear reason, like when people are done engaging with it. But I keep thinking about like a separate arena style mode where they had options where they could have done something like this as like an opportunity for them to add like the burning blade as an option to like its own fight, like have a way to, because custom servers, you can always like set up events and stuff like that with custom servers to take advantage of like the Burning Blade World event that would then give people a chance to see what like some of these large scale fights would look like, and to not have anything like that, to wait for it to happen organically can always be a bit of a bummer, because you may or may not actually ever run into that. In some cases like Godhammers, you have a fantastic opportunity to really take advantage of a whole server coming together to try and take down the Burning Blade. Whereas in my case, no one even touched it after 3 Reapers were on the island. Granted, it was Golden Glory, so maybe people are doing dives, things like that, try and get their skeleton curse or something. But it was kind of interesting to see just like how this is panned out, and always makes me wonder if a separate mode, if they could figure out the development of it coinciding with like the actual game, if that would ever be something they could ever return to. Next up, Blunderbuss rework. I think this is the one that everyone's kind of got an opinion about, so let's jump into it. The Blunderbuss knockback effect has been strengthened, with close range shots now consistently propelling players forcefully backwards and applying a more vertical height to repel borders over the edge and obstacles. The spread pattern of the Blunderbuss has been widened, both when firing from the hip and aiming down sights, maximizing the knockback potential at close range. Players propelled backwards by a Blunderbuss shot no longer have movement control while in the air, ensuring they are forced in the direction determined by the blast. New visual effects have been added to the Blunderbuss, with white-hot debris, smoke, and distortion effects identifying the effective range of the new knockback strength. The damage dealt by each pellet fired from the Blunderbuss has been slightly reduced, reducing the total output of the weapon to 90 damage out of 100 for one shot, one kill. As a result, the Blunderbuss will no longer... Oh, I should have just read the sentence. Pellets fired from the Blunderbuss now fizzle out at long range, reducing the overall range of the Blunderbuss and cementing its role as a close range tactical choice. Just want to get your guys' thoughts. I know this is something that is probably going to be more useful in the future when season 14 comes in. But just as a general change to the weapon, are you used to it? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Well, I like it for one reason. I don't have to be killed by a one-shot Blundy.
Yeah, that's definitely not possible now. So you prefer not having the one shot, one kill?
Yeah, that's just way too overpowered. It only took them like 6.5 years for them to fix it. Unless it hasn't always been like this, but I don't know, could be wrong.
No, it's always been one shot, one kill, but I would imagine, people who use both guns instead of a sword Probably feeling the pain right now.
Yeah, probably. Well, but you know the reason why Red decided to do this, and for those who need to be reminded, because of the grapple gun. Imagine, like, you know, you're being grappled with the grapple gun, then you get killed by a blunderbuss. That's gonna be an exploit. Well, if Red didn't decide to do this patch to begin with, so naturally, Rare thought ahead for once, instead of just letting players discover, oh, I can just grapple someone over and then kill them in one shot, one kill. You know, just better than just, you know, having that thing.
It's almost like Raiden in Mortal Kombat, really. You got the come over here.
Exactly.
Without
I call it the
thinking.
come over here. I call it the come over here combo.
I think for me, it's going to affect completely the way I play the game, 100%. I mean, it's always been one shot, one kill. I think when I started using the Blunderbuss a few years back, anybody that has sailed with me back then would hear me complain that I don't understand why everybody uses the Blunderbuss, but because I couldn't get one shot, one kills. You know, whether it be I was too close, too far away, who knows what it was. I just kept using it because of how it was having an effect on me when I was against players using it, and eventually it just naturally happened. It doesn't always happen. There's a few times where, you know, I think I'm within that perfect range and you don't get that one shot, one kill. And then you're kind of like, oh crap. Like, you know, then you start making excuses like, oh, it just hit markers or whatever. And it's like, no, it's just, I probably, you know, whatever it was, I just wasn't in the right position. It is what it is. But I mean, it took me a while to really perfect it, to work well for me. Now, I mean, that's all 90% of the time, it's blunderbuss and sword. I've never been good with double gunning. So I've never done that. I've always used the blunderbuss and a sword. You know, very rarely will I change it over unless if I absolutely need to, you know, complete a combination or something like that. So realistically, yeah, I mean, 6 years later, I'm going to have to change up the way I play completely, or I'm just going to have to rely on it to try to kind of knock you back maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about how I'm going to adjust to it. I don't like it, but I think it's also coming from playing a lot of shooters. You know, there always seems to be a gun here or there in most shooters that have that overpowerness a little bit. Obviously, most first-person shooters tend to, after a while, they will, you know, they'll change it up to where, you know, that gun's not meta anymore or whatever. But in Sea of Thieves' case and how the mechanics work with all the weapons, I think it's going to have a drastic effect on quite a few people. I'm not going to complain about it. It is what it is. It sucks. I'll just cry about it in my sleep at night, because I'm going to have to figure out another way to to kill people a lot easier.
Yeah, I personally, I understand why the change is coming in. It definitely hurts to get that one shot, one kill, especially when you're trying to defend your boat. But at the same time, numerous times I've been able to get a one shot, one kill on someone boarding on the ladder. And if that wasn't the case, then, you know, I would have to deal with them being either getting onto the boat, which is not fun, but I think that the knockback is intended to help with that. One of the main concerns I think I've seen a lot of people posting about is the ladder juke, which is allowing players at the top of the ladder to let go of the ladder. And normally you'd be able to get a shot off to knock someone away from the ladder so you could get the board on. But with the blunderbuss change, what I've seen is a lot of people that are defending the top of the ladder now getting knocked off of the sloop because of the vertical addition to the actual knockback. So one thing that I think a lot of people are going to have to start learning to do is not stand at the top of the ladder, especially on a sloop. I think that the goal here is more adjustment to the meta as opposed to condemning the meta, because I think that the goal here is that they want to try and use it as a tool, and much like any good tool, you need to learn how to use it when it slightly changes. You know, we didn't always have we didn't get to always keep like double digging or double bucketing, so we had to figure out how to readjust our perspective on when we're actually bailing a ship, like how much we can bail when we don't have a double bucket kind of thing. Same thing with the blunderbuss. I think that the goal here is going to be standing off to the side of the ladder and using the knockback to knock someone off of the ladder, as opposed to trying to kill them at the top of the ladder. And honestly, most of the time when you're, if you're still on the move, then you can knock them off. They're going to be stuck in the water. It's going to take a while for them to get a mermaid. So you've kind of effectively prevented them from returning to their ship as quickly as maybe if they were going back to the ferry. But Rusty, what do you got?
To kind of reiterate what you were saying, or question what you were saying, are you referring to, like, so if I'm at the top of the sloop, or I'm at the top of the ladder at the sloop, somebody's coming on and I blunder them, it's the kickback's knocking me off?
Yeah, so say like someone shoots from the ladder, like they let go of the ladder, they get the one shot off, and you're standing at the top of the ladder ready to kill them.
Yeah.
Their shot I've seen some videos where their shot is actually knocking the defender off of the sloop.
Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, obviously, like I said, you have to adjust if that's what's actually happening. But that'll be if anybody in that case, it doesn't matter really what you're using. I guess at that point, like if you're at the top of the ladder and somebody does that little ladder jump thing, at that point, like I guess we fall into the category of, is that what Rare wants? Is that what was the intended meaning of that? Or is that an exploit? Which that's a whole other discussion in itself. But I think, I don't know, that's a good question. I mean, you could come from it from the perspective of, well, hey, they're trying to get on, and if they're able to use use a weapon to knock you back and knock you off, I mean, I don't know. That goes both ways, I guess. That's curious to me.
Yeah, a lot of it does come down to how good are you at letting go of the ladder and then grabbing the ladder after you fire a shot. That will be the skill gap there. I personally don't have a problem with the ladder juke. I think that the ladder juke really is something that just about anyone can actually perform. It is one of the easier things that you can do in the game. It's not necessarily something that you have to do. There's plenty of ways to get around it as well too. I think the goal here is not that Rare should think, okay, well, this is preventing defenders from being able to defend, but that defenders need to think more openly about how they used to defend versus how they should defend now. It was much easier to guard the ladder by standing at the top of it and waiting for them to get up there. Even if they got a ladder juke shot on you, the chances of it being a one shot, one kill from the ladder is very low because you're hip firing the blunderbuss at that point. But getting knocked off the boat just means you have to approach it from a different manner. There are so many times where when I'm on a galleon or a brig, I will jump up onto the railing and shoot the person who's on the ladder at the side instead of waiting for them to actually get to the top of the ladder. And if you can do that with the blunderbuss, then hopefully there's an opportunity there to just knock them off the ladder before they even get to the top of it. But that's going to require testing and people playing around with the meta to get an idea of how that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just changes up. I mean, if you're a solo slooper, yeah, it might drastically affect a little bit on how you have to change up. But I mean, if you're double slooping or anything for that matter, where there's more than one of you on the boat, I think it's just, yeah, I can see what you mean by changing up the way you defend people trying to board your ship, and vice versa. Yeah, I when you say it that way, I don't look at it as like, exploiting something that wasn't there or whatever. And look, I can do it on a controller. It took me a minute to figure it out. But that whole ladder juking, like, I can do it on a controller. And if you can do it on a controller, like, it's not that hard.
Yeah, definitely much easier. Godhammer, I know you've been pretty quiet. I'm sure you're very well versed in all the tactics that come around trying to defend a ship, especially in Hourglass. How are you feeling about it?
I'm a sword. I have reach person. This means nothing to me.
But how do you feel as far as like the blunderbuss being able to knock someone off their ship if you're guarding the top of the ladder?
I think it's a fine trade-off from going from one shot off. I think at the moment anybody blunder sniping is going to switch it so that they'll start with the sniper first and then do the blunder. Because the pellets will just finish off whatever health you've got left after that. And that's the way I would swap around that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, Hourglass will teach you never to stand in front of the ladder way before this change ever happened. Stand off to the side, wait till they climb up, you get them then. Or you could have your blunderbuss out and just shoot them first as they start coming up the ladder. It'll knock them off into the water again. If you're moving at speed, they'll probably not be able to grab the ladder back. So that's another way to deal with that. You could stand off to the you stand off to the you stand off on the right side of the ladder as your boat's in motion and shoot them while they're climbing up. It'll knock them off towards your stern, and they won't be able to grab the be able to grab the ladder again because they'll be headed towards the back of your boat. So there's a good bit of defense for you. Don't forget blunder bombs. If you can't stand in front, blunder bombs will knock them off too. So there are ways to defend yourself. And if you know somebody is using the blunderbuss, try and lead them down into your hold, where if they blunder you, they won't be able to knock you off your boat.
I think those are all.
Yeah, got it.
Oh, go for it.
Sorry, Logan.
You're good.
I got hammered with what you pointed out, and maybe that's what I was thinking of it in the wrong aspect here with what Godhammer said about, like, you know, wait till they get to the top of the ladder or kind of stand off to the side of the ladder. I guess I can correct myself because that's what I do. So when I'm thinking of standing by the ladder, that's just a general consensus of like, oh, I'm by the ladder. But I don't think I've ever really just stood on top of the ladder. So I appreciate the way you said that because I wasn't thinking of it from that standpoint of, like, you know, standing on top of the ladder compared to just standing back a little bit, waiting till they come up, and then typically blunderbusting, because that's normally what I do. I'll just wait till you get to the top, you're up, blunderbuss you, okay, you're gone by. You know, sometimes, you know, it does kick them back a little bit, but so I made the mistake on that. I wasn't thinking of just standing directly over top the ladder.
All good options. There is one that I think we haven't talked about that I'd be curious to hear if anyone's messed around with, and that's the Horn of Fair Winds. So going into the next little bit of patch notes here, the Horn of Fair Winds is now more easily discovered within the world. These items are guaranteed to be found within Siren Treasury vaults and now have an increased chance of being salvaged from shipwrecks. In addition to these specific locations, there's a small chance of finding a Horn of Fair Winds washed up on islands across the Sea of Thieves. To balance out this increased availability, the gold awarded when cashing in the Horn of Fair Winds has now been reduced. As a reminder, the gold amount earned is not linked to the power remaining within the horn, so blast away. I think this is really interesting. Because not too long ago, we had some pretty lofty commendations to try and get these all knocked out. And the availability of them was very, very low. And a lot of people worked really hard to try and work out the science on how best to find these. Now, we are seeing that this is not only more available, but also guaranteed in certain locations after the commendations have been nerfed. Conversations around the nature of content coming to the game and slowly working its way to the back burner as it ages over time, like the Burning Blade not being picked up or used as frequently as it was when it first launched. I'm curious to hear, how do you all feel about the fact that the Horn of Fair Winds is now more readily available and in certain locations guaranteed?
I've only gotten that thing once. I'm happy that they increased it.
I don't think I've made any secret of the fact that I like a commendation that'll take you a long time. I applaud them when they stick by their guns and keep it a long thing. I will say, though, that in a season and a half, I had only managed to find 11 of them. And the other day, I went to 2 treasuries and got another 2. And I will now be able to finish this commendation by this point next year for sure, when that definitely was not the case about 2 weeks ago. So it is nice. I'm fine with it.
Oh, Godhammer kind of coming a little little bit around to maybe having more reasonable expectations on commendations? Is that what I'm hearing?
I will never be reasonable.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. In my lifetime versus a year is a big difference. Rusty, what do you got?
Like Godhammer, I am a sadist when it comes to I'm okay with some combinations taking a while. Obviously, there are combinations out there that I may or may not believe actually really exist, especially if you're trying to get 5 of those. But for combinations, like prime example was like the double barrel kills on skellies and other things. Although we might have farmed the heck out of them to get, what was it, 1,000. We did it. Now, if we would have done it naturally, it would have taken a while to do it, but we decided to farm them, and it was what it was. So I was a little irritated when all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, a bunch of people complained. Let's, change this back a little bit, make this a little bit easier. I don't mind the combination taking you a while. The fair winds one, honestly, haven't really tried to get them very often. I think we've only gotten maybe 1 or 2, and we were lucky enough to get a solo slooper that had no clue in the world what was going on and worked with us to complete some combinations with it. We even gave them the item as well so they could do it, which was mark that down as a good deed for the Black Rose. That doesn't happen very often. But I mean, I haven't tried it now, so obviously I know Godhammer said he got 2 the other day. Chenzo and them said they got a bunch of them. So, I mean, it'll be nice to be able to complete the combination. I am a checklist kind of guy, but at the same time, it'd be nice if some of these combinations did take a little bit longer. Not all of us are playing this game 8 to 12 hours a day and can just complete everything. So,
2 important points. 1, you can only get the horn guaranteed when you sail to the treasury. If you dive to it, it won't be there. And second point, Rusty said he's a commendation sadist. What he meant is commendation masochist. 2 very different things.
Thank you. I'm glad you called that out because I was about to.
Listen, English is not my first language. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just really bad with grammar.
That was a sentence in some aspects as well.
Ohio's a different place.
Don't blame that on Ohio.
Whoa.
Don't blame that. Okay. So this is one of those things, and I'll open it up to Tommy or Regis if you guys want to jump in as well too. I am very happy with the fact that they are opening this up so that it's a lot more available. I think it's a tool just like any other. It doesn't necessarily need to be about the gold or the rarity. I think it's just about having something fun to do. And in light of the changes that they made to the Blunderbuss, this is another opportunity for you to be able to deal with borders if you can. I've never tried a Horn of Fair Winds against someone trying to jump on the ladder, but now would be a great opportunity to test that out, considering I should be able to actually find them in and about the world. And this is one of those situations that I think I wanted to call attention to this in particular because the availability is like we mentioned about it's been out for a while, and now that we have had an opportunity to see people like get the commendations knocked out for it, if that's what they wanted to grind for, it being more available makes sense, given that when this was first introduced, it was very hard to find. As time goes on, more and more pirates would find them out in the world. They would sell them. Obviously, things would get sold or resold. Value on items and scarcity lowers, so things become less desirable or less valuable. So with more pirates finding them over time, it only makes sense that you would just find them like washed up in other locations, because they wouldn't have all been stuck down in the vaults or the siren. Why am I forgetting what? Not the treasuries, but what are they vaults? Sunken Kingdom? Shrine. Ugh, the naming conventions. The shrines and the treasuries, or finding them down in the shrines, the more people loot those, the more horns that they find, the more you would naturally have in the ecosystem and kind of strewn about. So it makes sense that you'd find them in shipwrecks. It makes sense that treasuries would try to have them reclaimed by the sirens and washed up on the shore if they just, people can't, find them or lose them. So from a lore perspective, I like the idea that when some of these things come out, they are rare, but as time goes on and more people claim them, turn them in, find them, what have you, it becomes less rare of an item and more prolific out in the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
That's
does
actually
make
brilliant.
sense. Yeah, it does.
So that being said, glad to see it. I do think that it's fine that Rare chooses to have certain commendations more or harder to achieve than others. I think when it comes to things like the skeletons, I think that's something that can be a high number because honestly, I think it's a good way to drive engagement with the weapons that they introduced. Things like the Horn of Fair Winds, I think what they're trying to do is push people to content that is in the game but not utilized or taken advantage of. So I think they were trying to get people to go check out the shrines more often. And unfortunately, some of the content in the game is going to hit, some of the content isn't. Shrines are just one of those things, and treasuries are one of those things that I don't think a lot of people really enjoy. And anything that takes you off your boat, if you're not immediately going to dig up a thing of treasure chest or something, or go to a vault, just isn't compelling enough to justify the one thing that I think a lot of us really love to do, which is just sail around. This game is made for sailing, so anything that takes us away from that tends to kind of deter us when there isn't a pretty lofty reward in stake, or at the stake of it, or at the center of it, something like that. But any thoughts on that as we kind of wrap up on the Horn of Fair Winds availability?
I can finally go zoom ability to last with the Horn of Fair Winds.
Very fair. All right. Well, the last thing that I wanted to jump into was the new content that's come to the Pirate Emporium. There's a slew of new items that have been in there. So the Motley Mariner ship set is now in there, as well as the Trinket and Drum, the Ashen Curse Owl, which looks really cool, as well as the King's King's Ransom Weapon Bundle. That's a tongue twister for me. The Ransom Ship Crest, as well as the Idle Conversations Emote Bundle, which I actually like that. The Omen Ship Bundle, which was a reward back in the day for the Gears of War stuff, which I just finished up Gears 4 and 5. And man, 5 is a fantastic game if y'all haven't played that. And of course, the free Red Card Emote. So really happy to see that. And if you guys haven't had a chance to go in to actually check this out, Regis, I want to bring this to your attention because this, as I mentioned in one of the past episodes, feels like a great nod to Buggy the Clown. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this as the resident One Piece fan.
Well, you could say it's like inspired by Buggy the Clown from One Piece, but yeah, I can definitely see why someone like you may think like, oh, clown plus pirate equals Buggy the Clown from One Piece. Yeah, sure, just yeah, but we'll have to yeah, and yeah, you might as well look up Buggy for those who are uninitiated in the One Piece, either live action or otherwise. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's definitely interesting they decide to put a clown makeup and characteristics and ship crests into CFEs without being tied to One Piece. But appreciating the nod. Just like I said when the episode come out to myself, we got to get you to watch One Piece, read, or something to do with One Piece, Logan, sometime soon. Maybe we'll do a watch party of the live action to get you hooked into the One Piece.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious then, because this is one of those things where, as I was kind of looking at it, I know that it's definitely not like a direct one-to-one. I don't think that they obviously have the license to be able to do that. But
no, I don't think so.
I was looking at some of the the icon, or some of the choices that they made, with Buggy versus the clown. You've obviously got the big smile on the sails,
the smile, the nerd nose, the makeup kind of thing.
The star, I think, was the one that I could have swore I saw when I was doing some digging on this. That the star is actually part of Buggy's ship as well too.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
So maybe I'm just crazy. It very easily could be just, me stretching or trying to look for connections where they aren't there.
Yeah, possibly.
One of those things I was kind of curious about to see, because I know that I haven't gotten to talk to you about this. So I wanted to hear if you thought that this was a nod or not, if I'm stretching, if you think more would come. I think next Emporium update, where they announce the next ship set that they plan on coming out with, if we'll see something like this in the Pirate Emporium to maybe showcase another one of the One Piece characters, yay or nay kind of thing.
I'll happily wait for the next crossover of if the One Piece is actually gonna be the third thing, because we got Pirates of the Caribbean, which is movies, Monkey Island, which is the video game side of Pirates. Then for One Piece, it's going to be comic books or manga. Then also cartoon, which is anime technically, and then also TV series, which is again the live action series. So I mean, you can see get a piece of every little bit of type of fictional pirate there is. And with One Piece having 3 of the missing things, then yeah. But also, again, I'll happily wait. And also, we gotta set a date for when you specifically get to watch the One Piece or read it, whatever you think.
Yeah. As we were kind of jumping back into the Emporium, we've got the Ashen Curse Owl. Anyone picking this up or anyone really liking this?
As soon as I saw it in the trailer, I said I had to get it, and I got it an hour ago.
Nice.
It is beautiful. It radiates red.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love it. I think it's beautiful looking.
I've already bought an owl, and I might get this one as well because it's just that good.
I love the owl. I think it looks fantastic. I'm sure it looks even better in the game. I'm just, at least for me, pet stuff is almost 100 million gold, and I just refuse to spend gold on the items I'm not going to use. That's the problem, and that's the problem with pets with me is I don't know when I'm ever going to use them.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of oh well, the animal follows me on the ship and they're gonna know that I'm 90% of the people that we're fighting with know we're there anyway, so the animal doesn't really matter at that point anyways. But I still have this thing in my head where I'm nope, can't have an animal because they're gonna know I'm here.
I would love if Rare could, and I'll make this quick point. I would love if there was a interaction setting that I could toggle in the settings that allowed me to not interact with my pet, so that way when I have a pet out, I won't be able to interact with it, but it'll still kind of do its own thing so I can have it on the boat and not accidentally grab it when I'm trying to get the wheel or I'm trying to get the cannon.
Rusty, I'm not sure if you know, but there is a option in the player option menu where you can just dismiss your pet at any point in time. So if you're I'm going to sneak onto that person's ship, just go into the player options and dismiss your pet just from that menu. No need to go into a pet chest.
Oh, once again, one of the random things in the game that I've never caught.
I love how every episode you come on, you've learned something new. I
can't even remember I forget what it was maybe 6 months to a year ago that I didn't even know. I was how long has this been in the game? 2 years? I'm how did whatever. I just give up sometimes.
Just gotta, all the time you spent on the bowsprit, you actually have to just start going through the actual menus and reading what's in there.
And see, that's the issue now. Now I don't have time to do that because I spent 2.5, 3 years of bowspritting, and now I'm just actually doing things. So now I don't have time to look at the menus and look at the options. I just now turned off so that I can't see everything on the map, and I just now turned off so that it would stop asking me to sit and accidentally sitting. So I complained about it for 2 years, but I just now turned it off.
Well, now that you have it off, maybe we can look at options for pets as well too. Make those a little more or a little less interactive, and give us a reason to not necessarily loathe when we accidentally grab them when we're trying to do something actually required, like a cannon or a repair or something like that. Next up, we got the Omen chipset. I got this when they first announced it, and they had brought it to the game through I think it was a drop or a giveaway. You had to earn it in some fashion that wasn't just by actually playing the game, or maybe it might have been a lock-in reward. I don't know, but that's coming into the Emporium now. Anyone not have this and want to pick it up as a Gears fan? No.
I'm with you, Logan. I've done had it. If it's Gears related, I want it.
Same. Next up, King's Ransom Weapon Bundle. Beautiful set. I don't know about you all, but I love the throwing dagger and the sword that they have for this. Absolutely beautiful pieces that they put in there. Just don't know if I want to spend the money on it.
Yeah, it's definitely beautiful. Just we definitely. I just wish for the new weapons, the double barrel pistol and the throwing knife. Just wish they could have made more of those for the gold shop before they launched it. Which Sure, those weapons are nice, but wish they were in the gold shop.
So I just thought, with these are being King's Ransom weapons, you have the King Ransom's clothing and all that. Perhaps the Jester goes with the King's Ransom stuff, not One Piece as a 1-2 punch.
I hadn't thought about that.
I had ancient coins left over, so I got the throwing knives because they look real good.
All the ancient skellies you've been finding, or just left over from the class?
Oh, I'm a pay pig. I'm helping fund rare on my lonesome.
That's good stuff. There is a Talk Like a Pirate Day sale. I don't actually remember them saying anything about this. As always, September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. It looks like they have a Talk Like a Pirate Day sale going on from September 19th through the 27th. Combine bargain hunting action with Talk Like a Pirate Day celebration as the Emporium unveils new discounts. Snap up the Lodestar, Mandrake, and Stone Isle Hopper Outlaw bargains along with some talkative emotes. The time-limited Pretty Polly sales also return. Kind of awesome. I didn't even notice this was part of the thing that was going on with this. So if you guys are looking to pick up any of those sets, they are going to be available, and it looks like Godhammer's actually put in the Pretty Polly sales, which I don't think I actually got the first time they came around. I'm not sure how they ended up how they were originally released, but I don't think I have those.
It was Talk Like a Pirate Day last year.
Was it? Maybe I do have it. I don't know what I was doing then. So next up, we've got the Idle Conversationalist emote bundle. I like these because it kind of lends itself to the whole idea of being able to get some really interesting talk like or like SOT shots things. So if you guys have a chance, or if you guys do get a chance to take a look at these, are they something that you'd be into? Do you use these emotes too often or anything like that?
I buy every emote set as soon as it shows up.
Nah, you really do like the money throwing at them.
Yeah, I would definitely grab these just to have them.
I mean, as long as Rare's, makes return on the funding with the Pirate Emporium, then yeah, I'll buy them if I can remember to do so to begin with.
Well, hey, good news is you can do it right now. Just go head over to the Sea of Thieves store and jump right in, buy them straight from the website.
Okay, that's
or from the main menu, or in the in your tab menu when you
middle of sailing.
Yeah,
just go buy them right in the middle of sailing.
That's cool. Yeah.
Fam, I love the season 13 cosmetics for the Plunder Pass. I don't know about you, but these things are straight fire. Very much like the Lodestar set as far as like the kind of design that they've got going on. Wanted to get your opinions on the costume and the mask, and just see what y'all thought about this really interesting, really kind of imposing Plunder Pass cosmetic set that came in with season 13.
It's an evil season, so naturally we're gonna get ourselves an evil looking blunderbuss when it comes to, like, the demon the devil kind of thing, iconography kind of thing.
It has a beauty and a brutality to it at the same time. The colors of red and gold just come, no, not even red, it's crimson. It blends together nicely.
Like the devils in D&D, if you will.
The edgelords are gonna love them.
I feel called out.
I think anything with a mask, now that I live down here in Mobile, anything with a mask, I'm starting to love because it gives me that Mardi Gras feel. So anything with a mask, I just love, period.
Yeah, I love these. I think they look amazing. I kind of wish this is what was a little more tied to the Reapers, if I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, I know we have a white mask and stuff with like I don't know. I kind of wish maybe Junior looked a little more like this than what he currently looks like. The gold masks is, like I get the lore. I get what was going on and stuff. But I look at this and I'm like, that's a villain. That's a villain I would respect.
I think I would respect him less if he looked like this.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I do say it does look a little goofy, to be honest, but that's maybe the CFE style, or just, I don't know, something from like a guild.
It looks like a luchador mask to me. I'm digging it.
Yeah, that.
I hadn't thought of that.
I think it's too much for Junior, but it's just I think Junior has the right understated look of evil. This is going a little over the top.
That's Sea of Thieves to me, man. Like, you giant red skull in the sky. That's over the top. That is right in line with what my expectations for the Reapers are. But I appreciate the varied opinion on this, honestly.
And now the big red skull in the sky is gone, and he's back.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss the red skull. All right. There's bundles out there. Ashen Creatures bundle. You get gold, you get Ashen Creatures, you get ancient coins. They've also got a toucan toolbox, which gives you ancient coins as well as a jacket, which I guess is the big thing people going for. I don't know. This is going to be really weird if it starts popping up with what my login stuff is. You get the Bright Bill toucan pet, the Ruffians, Sea Dog Sails, Cutlass, Blunderbuss, Banjo, Drum, Eye Patch, Peg Leg, Jacket, and Trousers, as well as the Jolly Jiggle emote, all for $10, including 550 ancient coins and a bonus 10,000 gold. I'll tell you right now, for $10, if you don't have Game Pass, it's $9 if you have Game Pass. 550 ancient coin, that's a 1-to-1. That's $5.50 that you're getting. That might as well just be a discount to the actual cost of the actual bundle itself. That's a pretty good deal. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna buy that right now. Actually, no, I can't. I gotta change cards. Dang it. I'll have to do that.
Screenshot.
You get the last 4 numbers of that card that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, I'm probably going to actually pick this up. I don't even care if I have the Ruffy and Sea Dog stuff. Just the fact that I'm getting the toucan and the, no, actually, is it just maybe it is just the toucan. I don't know. I have to take a look and see what I actually have, because $4, no, what is it? Yeah, $4, less than $4 for a pet. When you factor in the $5.50 in ancient coins for the bundle, that's a deal on the pet alone. I don't even care if I don't care about the gold or the other stuff, if I even have it or don't have it. Just the fact that there's a pet that you can get for less than the monetary value of $5, I'll take that. So I don't know.
And the Jolly Jiggle is a top 5 emote right there too.
That is. Anyone that does not have that though, honestly, what are you even doing in life? You should have that. And I'm calling you guys out on this too, so make sure you actually have it as well. Outside of that, I think that was it for the patch notes. Oh no, there's some new Outpost stock in there. I don't know that we'll necessarily need to get into all of this. I do like the Simeon Courtly jacket. If you guys have seen that, it's kind of a shame they don't have like photos of that in the actual patch notes. They really ought to, if they're going to be talking about this stuff. But outside of that and the Stonebark Carpenter's weapon set, which is actually really beautiful as well too. Some new stock that came into the Outpost. I love when they do this. I think that need to get loadouts or something for cosmetics, because I'm getting kind of tired. Godhammer putting the Courtly jacket actually in there. It's not even the front that's even the cool part. It's actually the back that I really appreciate, because it has that nice embossed kind of like 12 monkeys symbol on the back of it. It's really awesome. Anything that you guys wanted to touch on as we're kind of wrapping things up here? Did you guys want to go into any of these fixed issues? If there's anything that you see that you want to talk about, because I know some of these can be important, but I also know that we're getting close to the time that we usually set aside for this.
Oh, I'm glad that they fixed the thing where Burning Blade can't be part of a Hourglass battle. That was goofy.
Oh yeah, so that crew's pledge to the Burning Blade should no longer be open to invasion by rival crews as part of an Hourglass battle. Burning Blade.
Yeah, I think they were just throwing up Hourglass and then taking over the Burning Blade and then being invaded.
Ooh, yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Similarly, the Burning Blade will no longer be able to enter the tunnels of the damned as part of a tall tale. Let's see. Crews bearing items while pledged to the Burning Blade will now find that map bundles appear in the captain's cabin, which is odd. Players will now see the Burning Blade announcement banners only once upon approaching and not repeatedly when engaging or returning from the Ferry of the Damned. The banner for pledging to take control of the Burning Blade now correctly displays the name of the crew that accomplished it. If the Burning Blade crew leaves the game, nearby crews will no longer see the defeated notification. The crew of the Burning Blade can no longer access the ship customization chest at outposts. The Ashen Roar will no longer get stuck and become unusable if the Burning Blade moves servers when while it is heating up. That was a big one. Storage.
Yeah, I had that happen.
Oh, really? You had it lock up on you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I've had some weird issues. Storage merfolk will now recognize the Burning Blade when the pledged crew has stored treasure in the depths of a sunken kingdom. It's wild to me that this is all stuff that didn't get taken account when they were actually making it. Treasure from the Burning Blade's hold will now be released and rise to the surface consistently when the ship is sunk, which is nice because yeah, there's some decent stuff in there, especially with the Ashen Skull. Allied skeleton crews on the Burning Blade will no longer react when hit by the pledged crew. Thank you. The Burning Blade's middle mast repair location has been moved to avoid the location of the bell, which is nice. Losing the Burning Blade within the Devil's Shroud no longer repeats defeated notifications for the crew and rival players nearby. Battle music for the Burning Blade crew now consistently starts when a ship comes into battle range and ceases when the last ship leaves. The Burning Blade will no longer fire the Ashen Roar when it is considered downed or flipped. Interesting. Players can no longer become stuck in the ship's barrels and be ejected from the ship. That's good. A notification has been added to indicate that the Reaper's Bones emissary flag cannot be lowered when in control of the Burning Blade. The Burning Blade is no longer able to migrate to a location where another Burning Blade is already present. I think we've seen a couple photos of people with multiple Burning Blades on the same server. Completing rituals at skeleton camps now require the Burning Blade to be closer to the island. Captains defeating the Burning Blade should now consistently be awarded with the Blade of Souls. Bone Collar skeletons will now appear on the Burning Blade when summoned. Players using control aim assist will no longer find that allied skeletons on the Burning Blade trigger the assist effects. That was annoying. Let's see here. We also have the Blade of Souls will only be shown next to Captain Flameheart while the Burning Blade is not roaming the seas. Improvements have been made to the visual quality of the carpet in the captain's cabin on the Burning Blade. While sailing the Burning Blade, the border of the Devil's Shroud now appears in the correct location around the world map. Anything anybody wants to address out of those?
Yeah, you got to be practically run aground on the island to complete a ritual when you're doing the thing. You got to be so close.
I'm okay with that, to be honest, though. I know it's frustrating, but I would prefer them to really have to be kind of parked at that island to be able to shut it down. Let's see. I think we'll wrap it up with the skeleton camps. Improvements have been made to the skeleton camps in ancient temple environments to enhance navigation and visual quality. Constellations will now be correctly highlighted on the pillars after a failed attempt. Definitely appreciate that. Can't think of anything. Performance instability. They're still obviously working on stuff. I think bug size is really the biggest, or crashing is really the biggest issue right now. I know that they've had some issues earlier on in the week where people were getting alabaster beard. They've got the current Reaper's Bones Burning Blade kind of thing going on till Sunday the 25th. So if you are looking to do more Hourglass, the Reaper's Bone boost is now live. I like this. I think that they need to do more stuff like the Burning Blade, or not the Burning Blade, but the boosts every weekend. Because, yeah, they definitely... Not servants. Godhammer, interrupt me. Tell me I'm wrong.
Currently, right now, it's not servants, but that will be not next week, but the week after. I think it was September 9th was Fight Night.
The Fight Night, I think, is something different. I'm talking about the...
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's 9 days. So yeah, next week. Yeah, the servants are not affected by the boost this week.
Oh, so it's just Reaper's Bones.
Just Reaper's Bones, specifically.
Gotcha. Okay.
But of use for the people next week, servants will be up for Fight Night. Fight Night is coming back next week. Next weekend, August 31st and September 2nd through September 2nd. Fight Night. Get out there and fight in the Hourglass, folks.
Really bad timing for me. Couldn't have been any other weekend. It would have been nice.
Oh, as if you were gonna.
Hey, last time Golden Glory was going, I did Hourglass and got 6 levels closer towards my 100. I'm doing it.
I got 18. I'm at 320 in servants.
Well, I was also cleaning an apartment, so that's all.
Oh, the guilt trip.
So someone had to prepare for a roommate. I think that is pretty much it, fam. If you guys got anything, feel free to jump out there. I'm glad that we're getting the Fight Night coming back, because I will definitely be doing it in between trips to the anime convention that I got going on that weekend. And then Monday is probably going to be the biggest day for me to be able to do that, to be honest, because I think like Tuesday I've actually got a concert that I'm going to, plus other stuff going on. It's busy. It's going to be a busy weekend for me, unfortunately, but definitely glad that you're doing that. They need to keep up with these reputation cycles.
Yes.
And have them
please
be something that is just like every weekend it's a different faction, so that people can go and actually do stuff for these different factions.
Yes, please make the Fight Night a regular thing.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's just like one day. Just like make it a thing that happens like once every 2 weeks. That'd be great.
Yeah. All they have to do is just schedule it out. Just schedule the bonuses, have it go live. It just be a back end thing that nobody has to worry about, and just give us that opportunity to actually get some bonuses for some of this stuff. Like, there's no reason not to.
Anything that brings more people to kind of engage, especially, obviously more people are going to be on the weekends. So anything like that to bring more people and engage them in the game, whether it be with PvP or not, I think is a good thing. Like, bring it on.
Definitely. All right, folks. Godhammer, what do you got?
I just wanted to call out that they have had an event every month this year, pretty consistently. Golden Glory, Ashen Eps. Sorry about that. They had the boost for they've got the boost for Reapers. Now they got Fight Night coming. It's been very nice. The Gilded Voyages were very nice. And they had like a voyage a month, which was really nice. Flags of Friendship twice during July, which was good. And I like that they're doing that. I want more of it.
And I like that with the Gilded Voyages. I was very impressed of how, I don't know about everybody, but I was very impressed with like how Rare handled with myself and some others that I know accidentally got caught up where we put the Athena Gilded down, we dove. Why we dove is not the question, but we dove, and we got caught in just perpetual under the sea. And the only way, we were there for 10-15 minutes. It would not bring us up at all. And put in a simple ticket, and hours later, Gilded Voyages were back in our pockets, so to speak. So I was very impressed with how they handled that.
Interesting, because I know that's not the case for everyone, unfortunately. Some folks had some really hard times getting their veil or getting their Gilded Voyages back, if at all.
Well, if that was anybody we know, I apologize, but I guess it sucks to suck.
Rude. I'm going to take offense to that, even though it wasn't me. All right. I think that's going to do it for this episode. As always, it's been great to talk to y'all about this. If you liked the whole like streaming thing as we kind of work through content and kind of talk about it as we move throughout the episode, definitely let me know. But outside of that, I want to give everyone an opportunity to shout out anything that's going on, or anything that they want to say is something that they're looking forward to or not, or just say goodbye in general. So as always, we'll start off with Godhammer. Shout out to the Grogged crew and your team. I know Witch has been sailing with you recently, and I know you guys just recently, oh my gosh, blanking out on it. It was a milestone. Oh, what was the milestone?
Uh-oh.
What was the
Now
milestone?
You've got me flat-footed because now I don't remember what the milestone is.
Was it rank 8 recently?
Yes, we have hit rank 8. We're actually very close to hitting rank 9 now.
Okay. I feel like there was
So,
something else
yeah.
though. Gosh. No, it was legendary hunter that you got.
Oh yeah, I
That's
also
what it
hit
was.
legendary hunter this past week. Yes. Yeah. Just grabbed a few of the Grog members that didn't have theirs done either, and we all headed over to Tribute Peak and fished inside of that one specific pond. Folks, if you don't know about the Tribute Peak thing for treacherous plunder, you go to Tribute Peak. There's a pond on a hill. You stand on a rock facing some trees, and you cast out in that direction. Have one or two people so they can shoot these skeletons with guns, and leave the other skeletons just sort of chilling out at your feet. And you'll get treacherous plunder. It'll take a while, but it's faster than anything else.
And a whole bunch of ashen keys too.
So many ashen keys. Yes, thank you for calling that out. But otherwise, loved my Grog folks. They're good people. We took down that burning blade, and it was so good. Yeah, Grogged.
Happy to see you're still having fun with them. Regis, we are heading out. Anything you want to shout out or say as we go?
Just a story that I've been, well, again, a quest, if you will, an interactable fan fiction that I've been reading and following along for the last few times. It's called The Blood Runs Cold, a Warhammer Fantasy Vampire Pirate Quest, which takes a bit, because, you know, vampires and pirates, of course, exist in the world of Warhammer Fantasy. Pretty interesting, like, very fun and very entertaining, and also very good. As of this recording, they're currently going to try to take down a king's ship filled with plague-ridden Vikings, servants of Nurgle, if you will, for those Warhammer fans. And hopefully they'll make it out. And we'll wait and see until next time.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, of course you are.
It's almost like he's planning it. All right, Rusty, we're heading out. You got your pumpkin spice taken care of?
Yeah, we've done down the pumpkin spice.
Done
we're
downed it, huh?
We done down. We
Moved on to something else.
Spice.
Something else.
We done down to pumpkin spice. We're
Okay.
on to the nicotine pouches because you know
my.
I'm not chewing tobacco anymore. But no.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Good
The
job.
nicotine pouches give you a little bit of burst, so it makes your heart feels like my heart was racing. So I thought I might have been having another blackout session a couple days ago, but all in all, no.
Oh my gosh.
No, glad to hear everybody's doing good. Always good to be here. Trying to be here more often now than in the past. Yeah, I don't really have anything. Just have fun with the game. Yeah, just be nice to people. That's all. All in
Very
all.
cool. Yeah. Well, if Jen ever finds you blacked out, hopefully she does the appropriate thing. Tommy, we are heading out. Anything you want to shout out or say as we head out?
I just started streaming this game, The Quarry, on my channel, Tommy D Live. I haven't streamed anything in like a year and a half, and it's the first thing I'm doing. So it's basically a movie, interactive movie. So if anybody want to watch it, I'm doing chapter by chapter each day. So come on over.
Nice. You got the VODs up and stuff in case people want to catch up?
Yeah, I do. Publish them as soon as I'm done with them.
Fantastic.
Tommy, go Browns.
I am seething right now.
Okay. All right. Keep your sports balls out of the podcast. You guys can fight about that later. That's going to do it for this episode of Keelhauled Podcast. I hope everyone had a good time with us covering the news. And hopefully everyone has a good rest of your weekend. Definitely get out there if you're looking to get some more Reaper's Bones reputation knocked out, if you're trying to work towards that level 10 distinction. Outside of that, thank you all for everyone who joined me today. And as always, if anyone wants to join and you're part of the Gold Hoarder community over on the Keelhauled Discord, you're always welcome to jump in and say hi, spend some time with us on the fourth Saturday, or the last Saturday of the month, where there is a Monday that I can publish within that month. It's weird. There's an event that always is listed in the Discord if you're ever curious what day that's going to be, though. So thank you to everyone for hanging out with us, and we will all see you next time.